I feel what a lot of people do, because of our religious understandings and our background. See, even the country here in Australia comes basically from Christian understanding. So many of us, even though we may be atheists or even no practicing religion, many of us still have very similar attitudes about God and about faith. And that we were brought, the country was brought to in the 1700s, or 1800s, and what we need to understand is that God has given us this ability. A number of abilities, actually, personal abilities that we need to honour. We need to honour these personal abilities. And if we're truly going to come to understand truth ourselves, we need to go through a personal process ourselves. We can't rely on the words of another person. You cannot rely on my words. You cannot. You need to go through a personal process of your own to discover truth. That is the reality. That is the only way you are going to discover truth. What I am sharing with you is how to do that. That's all. It's a method. I'm not sharing you. In fact, I prefer to not share the truth, but the method of discovering the truth is my preference. That's what we talked about in the first century with everybody. That's what we're trying to talk about mostly now. Now, I'm perfectly willing to answer persons' questions about what is truth, but you must understand, I only know the answers because of a personal experience. And you are capable of having a similar personal experience and are capable of answering just as definitely through that personal experience as I am. So it doesn't mean there's no superiority of a person just because they've had a personal experience you have not had. You are capable of having similar personal experience with God that will cause you to be able to answer every question you ever ask. I've had nobody telling me anything that I had to discover. Nobody. My history has been, for 2,000 years, has been that nobody has told me what I need to discover. So how did I discover it? Because I had a personal experience with God that I'm encouraging you to have. And if you have a personal experience that's similar, you will discover all the same things yourself through the experience. This is where you need to trust yourself more. You see? So you need to give up trusting me so much. I'm not saying trust me, you can see my nature, you can see my personality through years of interaction. That's one thing. I'm saying you need to give up trusting what I'm saying to you as truth and attempt to go through a personal experience to discover the truth for yourself. And what I'm suggesting is the fastest way to do that is the way that I've discovered to do it. But you don't have to believe me. You can try some other ways first if you want. That's all I'm suggesting. And this is the beauty of faith. If we start with some kind of personal conviction in ourselves that we are able to discover truth, that we are able to have a relationship with God, that we are able to have free will, that we are able to make our own choices and decisions, that we are able to take personal responsibility for our life, when we know we're able to do every one of those things, then we start to understand that we have enough personal power to actually establish this relationship with God. And we do not need another. You do not need a mediator. You do not need a teacher. God will become your teacher, just like God's become mine.